get that right. Let's get that straight, buddy. Well, hello. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is 8:51 on the East Coast. Whew. Let me get through my spiel before I get into this video. Good morning. Welcome to Sugar Mama Chronicles. Put up your drinks. What are you drinking this morning? I am drinking tea because I had way too much wine researching this video. Actually, I'll get into that. But here at Sugar Mama Chronicles, we talk about current events, politics, black news, news in general, and black news, but black news first. B1 always. We talk about people's Facebook pages and what they be putting on them, because sometimes that'd be a mess. We talk about YouTube influencers, what they're doing. Sometimes they got beef. We're going to cover that too. And we talk about relationships, parenting, and I'll help you live your best life. I've been through it all. Trust me. I've been through a lot. And I think that I have a good perspective on life. I'll be 50 next month. Thank the Most High. And always, always, always like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you could get my upcoming videos. So let's get into this video, because I really, really don't want to make this video too long, but I went down a rabbit hole last night, and I did not intend to. So yesterday we talked about that Akon and what he had to say about Ugandan rappers or musicians versus American rappers and musicians, and that whole thing. If you didn't see that video, I'm going to be posting that video soon. So in the midst of, because I was sitting there last night and I'm saying, let me look up some Ugandan rappers, musicians, or whatever. And let me put this disclaimer in: fair use. Everything I use on this channel, I will be. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to be letting you listen to some news, some news reports pertaining to what I'm talking about today. So fair use. I will put that up right here when I get it, I start editing this video. So this nigga, I was researching, so I wanted to see what he was talking about. So I researched Ugandan rappers, and this is what I came up with. Girl, he got a nerve. Anyway, that's for another video. And then I came across these nefarious mofos talking about torturing a Uganda child, which is so sad, because I also looked up what Uganda looks like today, because I've never been there. It is a beautiful country. And what pisses me off is, and like I said, we'll get into another video, is Akon, that nigga, did not give this country justice, because they definitely be hustling for real. And we'll get into that in another video, because I don't want to make this video too long and getting into that. So I came across this nefarious couple, these white people. When you act up and you're white, I'm gonna call you white people, because not all white people are white people. Okay? Not all. Some of them are good. I got a half black and half white granddaughter, and I love her. That's my Belle, as her grandfather calls her. Um, and my son is, you know, in a relationship with a white girl, and she's very nice. She's very, very, very nice. Text that I needed to, well, email from my job that I really needed to read. Okay, so like I was saying, not all white people are bad at all, and I want to make that clear. But the white people are okay. So as I was researching this white couple, I came across some very, very interesting things, and it pissed me off for real. I got 3 pages of notes. 3. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Let me count. Okay. Let me count. I have, and I was up late. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of notes. Okay? 4. And I'm going to start with this nigga. I'm going to start with her. She's going to scroll across the page, but I'm going to start with her. Okay? Which is Jean-Pierre. She's the press secretary for Biden. Hold on, I'm just going to cue this up. I think that's her name. It's not important. I'm going to cue this up. And this is, like I said, fair use. This is Tucker Carlson interviewing. And it's funny because I'm going to get into how the United States just hosted this, I guess it was a summit with 49 49 African countries. And Africa has actually 54 countries, and 49 of them came to the United States. Okay? And I'm going to let you hear his speech that he made, and then I'm going to break it down. So I'm going to play this. It's 5 minutes. But I'm gonna be interrupting some of this. Okay, so in the beginning, he plays an excerpt of the press secretary, how disrespectful she was to an African reporter, and I say this first. Let me just say this first. I'm going to post this on Facebook, and this will be the first video that I'm going to post on Facebook from my YouTube channel. Because I know I have some African people on there, some Spanish people. I have an array of people on my Facebook page. And I didn't really want to post too quickly on my Facebook page because I'm just getting used to being in front of the camera. But this YouTube video, I'm gonna definitely post this YouTube video because I want my African friends and the whole African diaspora, and also my Latino sisters and brothers. I want you guys to understand that they don't like you. And then you come here, and not all, but quite a few of you like disrespect FBA, ADOS, or whatever name you give it. The descendants of African slaves, descendants of American slaves, which is us. And I want you to understand, and I really want you to. And I'm really trying to make this, I'm not going to really try to make this long, but I really want you to listen to the disrespect that they have for you guys, because they want something from you. And I'm going to break it down what they want from you. And they're still condescending, and they're still disrespectful, and they still trying to rape your country, but yet you don't get with us when you get here, because they tell you not to, and you shouldn't be like that. So let me, without further ado, let you listen to this commentary from Fox News, Tucker Carlson. Again, fair use. Here we go.
Briefing, you know for a fact that Karine Jean-Pierre doesn't like you.
Karine Jean-Pierre, that's that nigga's name. And I'm going to put her picture up here so that you could see who she is and what she looks like. And you guys need to pay more attention to the news, especially black media. You guys need to pay attention, because they've been calling this out for years. For years. And I have been watching what they've been calling out. And I've been watching. And this is why I decided to put my, 2 cents in the ring. Black media. Okay? So, here we go.
Oh. But don't feel bad, because she despises someone else more.
Okay.
So if you've ever watched a White House press briefing, you know for a fact that Karine Jean-Pierre doesn't like you at all. But don't feel bad, because she despises someone else.
Now, this is a white man telling us, because right now he's talking to the black community, the black descendants of American slaves. He's talking about us, how they don't like us. But then he says something that's very important. He says, but she despises someone even more. Watch, listen to his words. Don't just, it's Fox News. Listen to his words.
But don't feel bad, because she despises someone else more. She really dislikes a specific reporter from Africa. His name is Simon Atiba. He works with Today News. He's had a lot of hostile encounters with Karine Jean-Pierre for some reason. Yesterday, she freaked out on him and stormed out of the press conference, ending it early. We kept track of this weird psychodrama going on. Here are some clips from it.
She's asked about the origin of COVID-19.
Okay, so listen to the condescending that this nigga gives this African man, and a disrespect. Listen to how she is so just, listen.
And Dr. Fox, she's the best person to answer that
I hear your question, but we're not doing this the way you want it. This is a disrespectful. It is. I'm done. Simon, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with you right now.
So what's the difference between President Trump not doing anything while the Capitol was being attacked and President Biden not doing anything while protesters, while the Supreme Court justices were under attack?
To say that there is no difference, that is just unbelievably wrong.
The Supreme Court justice.
I'm moving on.
You don't give us credit.
Okay.
Do you hear this thing? I'm moving on. Do you hear her? She's a hot ass mess. Do you hear her?
I'm trying to answer your question. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. I just tried. You wouldn't let me. Go ahead. I just tried, and you would not let me, sir. So your colleague is going to ask a question. Go ahead. No, I literally just tried to answer your question. You shut me down. So now your colleague is going to.
Let me ask the question first before
Okay.
you answer.
Thanks, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.
Question out of respect.
She packed up her shit. She packed up her shit and left. Stage left. Packed up her. All right, I'm done. Stage left. That's what she did. That's what she just did. Really? Now, I want you to listen to what this man says when Tucker Carlson is interviewing him, okay? And then we're going to really get into it. This is just a taste of what these disclaimer, I'm going to swear a lot in this video because I'm angry. I'm angry. So all my pastors that I love, please, and all my elders, please excuse the language because I'm angry. And I can't believe the shit and the audacity that these people in the United States have the nerve to be doing. Okay? And I'm going to get into it. Okay, let me finish.
It's a good thing she's unarmed, or Simon Atiba would be in deep trouble. He's his correspondent for Today News Africa, and obviously kind of a hero. He joins us today. Simon, thank you so much for coming on. Wait, you can feel it watching that tape. She is mad at you. Why?
Yeah, she is. Listen.
Yes, first of all, thank you, Tucker, for having me on your show. There's a reason why your show is the most watched show in news in the U.S., because you bring people like me. It's been a disaster, a total...
Okay, so she took over for the white chick as press secretary because that chick quit, and we don't know why she quit. I guess her family, she wanted to spend more time with her family, but she quit. So this chick took over for the press secretary. And he just said it's been a disaster, okay, since she took over. Okay, let me let you finish.
Catastrophe.
Here, listening.
A real nightmare covering the Biden White House. Right now, I'm the voice of Africa in the U.S. A disaster.
He said, okay, I'm going to let you listen to this because I was talking. Okay, listen.
So there's a reason why your show is the most watched show in news in the U.S., because you bring people like me. It's been a disaster, a total catastrophe, a real nightmare covering the Biden White House. Right now, I'm the voice of Africa in the U.S., but I can confirm that the level of discrimination against me and against African journalists in the White House, it's outstanding. It's disgraceful. You know,
he said it's disgraceful. The words that this dude is using describes my whole content today. And I'm going to probably break this up into two parts. Because this is going to be kind of a long video, and I don't want my first couple of videos to be really long. So I'm going to break this up into probably part 1, part 2, and probably part 3, who knows, because you go down a rabbit hole, it's long, okay? Even though I made notes, it may be a very long video, and I'm already at 12 minutes in this video. So let me let you finish watching.
It's been 3 months that we don't have questions at the White House. Even as President Biden is about to receive 50 African head of state in DC for the U.S. African Summit, she didn't even give us even a single question. I've been trying for the past 3 months. And, you know, it's shocking because...
He said they're about to have... So when this video was made, this Tucker Carlson, it says it was made 2 weeks ago, okay? So, they're about to host 50, well, actually it's 49, but at the time he said it was 50 African countries, and it's only 54, but 49 actually showed up. But he's saying, one, she hasn't answered a single question that this man is trying to ask her, knowing it's on the heels of Biden hosting 50 African countries, and she hasn't answered a single question. Relax, Marcy. Woosah and drink some tea. Okay, I'm gonna let you finish listening to it because I am aggravated right now, and I haven't even started.
She's black. She's an immigrant. I'm black. I'm also an immigrant. And
okay. We talked about immigrants the other day, and I'm gonna post those videos. Okay, we talked about immigrants. Remember, I'm gonna post that video before I post this one. We talked about immigrants, and so he says she's black, she's an immigrant. Okay, doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter to the Biden administration, to Democrats alone. It doesn't matter whether you're a black immigrant, because they treat us like we are the shit on the bottom of their shoe. Okay, not all, but a lot of them do. Okay.
Even a single question.
Listen.
I've been trying for the past 3 months. And, you know, it's shocking because she's black. She's an immigrant. I'm black. I'm also an immigrant. And she's discriminating against me more than the white people who were, the white lady who was there before. And it's.
Okay, so he said that she treats him worse than the white lady that was there before. Really? Really? Okay. Where is this chick from? I gotta find out where this chick is from, and I'm gonna put it right there where she's from. Okay.
It's shocking. She should be ashamed of herself for doing that, and it's heartbreaking.
She ain't ashamed of herself.
She's obviously a bigot. You can see it in her face.
Tucker Carlson said she's obviously a bigot. Okay, let me let you hear that.
And it's heartbreaking.
She's obviously a bigot. You can see it in her face. She really, really dislikes you. Do you suppose it's because you don't have the same views that someone who looks like you should have, in her opinion?
You hear that?
Yes. So I believe that has to do maybe with 2 or 3 things. The first thing, I sound different. I wasn't born here. I was born in Cameroon. I speak French. I speak different languages. I don't have the American accent. I tried. I failed. And I've decided to stick with my accent. So I'm an immigrant, and she doesn't like that. And I asked tough questions. For instance, I will ask her.
He said she's an immigrant and she don't like that. And she's an immigrant. How immigrants not like immigrants? What kind of shit is that? Okay, let me finish.
How is it understandable that President Biden is inviting 50 African heads of state to the U.S. who will spend almost $50 million each, and he doesn't have 5 minutes to spend with each of them? He won't have any one-on-one.
And that's what I'm going to get into, because that's what I'm going to get into. He would let me rewind this back and let me let you hear what this man says. And this right here is the kicker and the springboard to what I'm about to talk about today. What I'm about to get into today.
How is it understandable that President Biden is inviting 50 African heads of...
How is it understandable that Biden is inviting 50 African countries? This is his words, okay? This black man from Cameroon, okay?
To the U.S. who will spend almost $50 million each, and he doesn't have 5 minutes to...
They're spending $50 million each, and Biden doesn't have 5 minutes. 5 minutes, okay? 5.
With each of them. He won't have...
With each of them, okay?
One-on-one with any of those U.S. who will spend almost $50 million each, and he doesn't have 5 minutes to spend with each of them. He won't have any one-on-one with any of those African presidents who are coming here in countries where money is already a big problem. Why not have this meeting on Zoom, for instance?
Because he don't give a shit. And like he said, why didn't he have that on Zoom? Because he doesn't give a shit. Listen. Why should he care now? 400 years ago, they didn't give a shit. Okay? The transatlantic slave trade, they didn't give a shit. When they took us as slaves, they didn't give a shit. When they beat us, they didn't give a shit. When they took our babies and made gator meat out of them, they didn't care. When they beat us and hung us from trees, shout out Billie Holiday's song "Strange Fruit," they didn't give a shit. When it was hanging us from trees and burning us and shit and hosing us down, they didn't give a shit. Africa, wake the fuck up. They don't like you. They want something from you. And we'll find out what it is in this broadcast today. We'll break it down. They don't give a shit about you. And this black man he's telling you, and he's on Tucker Carlson. Which, listen, these African reporters need to stop going on Tucker Carlson. No shade to Tucker. And start going on black news and black media like TD Hip Hop and the Black Authority and Professor Black Truth and Tariq Nasheed and Michi X and Pan Africa, the Pan African Channel and Umar Johnson and Ahmadiyya School. These people need to go on these black outlets. Because this is where the black people are. We typically don't watch Tucker Carlson or NBC News or MSNBC or ABC or CBS or Gayle King, Oprah, all the rest of them. We don't typically watch them. We watch black media because that's where we get in our truth from. Stop going on these shows. If you want us to be behind you, you gotta be willing to, because you're not getting nowhere. Okay, look at the talk about the reparations. Who do you think started that? Black media. And now you hear it everywhere. Cause know this. If we get reparations, so do you. So do you. If you stuck with us, okay? If you stuck with us in this fight for the descendants of American slaves getting reparations, and we know you sticking with us, you wouldn't even have to worry about food insecurities. You wouldn't even have to worry about your country being broke and poor. Because guess what? We'll go spend money over there instead of here. Okay, let's finish getting into this.
And so I asked questions about COVID. How do you explain that 1 million people, if we have to go by the official figures, 1 million Americans were killed by COVID, and we don't know where COVID came? You lied to us. You told us the COVID
Talk about
came
COVID.
from bad to human, and then now we understand that it probably came from the lab, and that's the most consequential question.
He said it probably came from the lab. Okay. I'll say this. He's talking about COVID. He's talking about how they're not answering the questions that need to be answered. Okay. And we'll get into that at a later date of how many cases were in Africa compared to how many cases of C-19 was in America. We'll get into that a little later on, down the line. Okay. So let me write that down because I will definitely forget. C-19 cases versus let's see. What I say? U.S. versus Africa. Okay. So we'll get into that. Okay. I gotta write that thought down. I'll forget.
She wouldn't even allow Diana from, Daily Caller to ask that question. And when I intervened and said that, no, you need to allow her to ask the question, I'm being blacklisted and it's unfortunate.
Okay, he said she wouldn't allow, hold on,
that question. And
hold on.
The lab, and
all right, listen.
Where COVID came, you lied to us, you told us the COVID came from bad to human, and then now we understand that it probably came from the lab, and that's the most consequential question. And she wouldn't even allow Diana from, Daily Caller to ask that question. And when I intervened and said that, no, you need to allow her to ask the question, I'm being blacklisted and it's unfortunate, it's disgraceful.
Well, you are always welcome on this show, and I suspect we will see you again. So I'm going to...
Okay. Now that was the long intro to my actual video, because I ain't done, okay? I am not done. Like I said, I got 4 pages, so this may be a quite long video, but I'm gonna definitely break it up into smaller videos because it's a lot. It is a lot. So you just got through hearing this African reporter talk about how disrespectful the press secretary was to him, okay? And I wanted to start off with that right there first, because it sets the tone for all the other disrespectful shit that America is doing to these African countries. Okay. First, before I get into it, I'm going to break down for you the African continent, because I think we need a little bit understanding of how vast Africa is, and we already know that it's a huge continent. We already know that, and I want to get into how huge that this continent is, and how significant it is that how interesting it is that they decided now to invite Africa to United States. And mind you, let me put this in there. They never apologized for slavery. Biden administration never apologized for slavery. Never apologized to us. They didn't even give us a crimes bill. And I'm going to talk about that a little later on, because it was something interesting this lady said on what is it? Hold on. It was and I am going to let you hear. What is it? Nope, not that one. Okay. Let me see. On Democracy Now! It was something very interesting towards the end of this video, what they said about Pacific Islanders, okay? Because they gave them a crimes bill. Okay, so, and it was very interesting what they were saying, okay? That one right there, that one is really good. So I'm going to get into that. But first I want to break down the African continent and how many countries they have, because a lot of us Americans, Black Americans, don't understand the breakdown. A lot of us don't, being for real, because you're not really taught that in school. A lot of us is not that knowledgeable about Africa. Only thing we know about Africa is Africa. So we think that all of Africa is connected, but it is connected, but it's not. So I'm gonna break down their continent for you as best as I could break it down. But before I do that, I want you to listen to Biden and this. Before I do that, I want you to listen to this. It is called. Okay. Before I break down these countries, okay, I want you to hear what Biden has to say about when these 49 African countries came over to talk about them having relations with Africa.
While you're waiting for me to come back, please go over to the New African channel and listen to the Ghanaian president's encouraging words to the African American in the diaspora. His name is Nana Akufo-Addo.
1 second, I have to, my stove is beeping. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so I had to break down, and I wanted to understand what a memorandum of understanding was. Okay. Okay, and I'm gonna break that down for you before I get into what Biden had to say. Okay, so it says memorandum of understanding, which is a MOU. If you hear that term, MOU, a memorandum of understanding is an agreement between two or more parties outlined in a format. Okay, and then it goes on to say, what is a memorandum of understanding, MOU? A memorandum of understanding is an agreement between two or more parties outlined in a formal document. It is not legally binding, but signals the willingness of the parties to move forward with a contract. The MOU can be seen as a starting point for negotiations, as it defines the scope of purpose of the talks. The scope of purpose of the talks. Such memoranda are most often seen in international treaties, negotiations, but also may be used in high-stakes business dealings such as merger talks. Okay? So then they have key takeaways from what we just read. Okay, now listen. A memorandum of understanding, MOU, is a document that describes the broad outline of an agreement that two or more parties have reached. Okay? The broad outlining. Okay? MOUs communicate the mutually accepted expectations of all of the parties involved in a negotiation. While not legally binding, now that's the key. So this memorandum of understanding is not legally binding, but it does hold up in court. Okay? I have to tell you that. It can hold up in court. While not legally binding, the MOU signals that a binding contract is imminent. The MOU is most often found in international relations. Okay? So the United States, and I say forced, these countries, because they were so broken poor, and I'm gonna read. You're gonna know the countries who signed this, because not all of them signed it. Not all of them. Only 11, and I'm gonna break that down too. Okay. Signed this memorandum because he offered this $50 billion. Okay. And I gotta get into it. Okay. So not all the countries signed it. So that gives you the understanding of what a memorandum of understanding is. Okay. Now, as we said that, let's get into this. Let's get into this. Okay, let me take this off so I won't keep. Okay.